morning and welcome back to a vlog. Currently leaving Zurich main station just behind me, and I'm quite excited because today is quite an action-packed day. I decided to go for a full-on day trip. Started really early, it's just 5:20 at the moment. Decided to catch the first train to the west of Switzerland, which is actually the French-speaking part. It's Lausanne where I'm headed. I've never been and it looks just as beautiful as all parts of Switzerland really, so I'm excited to see what that's about. Just like that, we've made it to beautiful Lausanne. So Lausanne is about 2.5 hours away from Zurich if you're interested in also doing a day trip like this. I have a few cool spots picked out in the city that I also want to take some photos of, so let's take a walk around and see if we can find the best that Lausanne has to offer. My first impression of Lausanne is that the architecture is very strikingly different to what you're used to in the German-speaking part of Switzerland. Looking at these beautiful buildings in the backdrop, this reminds me of what I've seen in Paris, with the roofs and the windows and the tiny little balconies. Absolutely love that style. Maybe I'll be able to capture this in some photos later, but yeah, you can definitely see that the French influence is definitely here, with a Swiss twist of course, because Switzerland's a very clean, well-kept, luxurious, posh kind of place, and that's definitely reflected in these buildings as well, so beautiful city for sure. So the very first place I wanted to check out here in Lausanne is arguably Lausanne's #1 photo spot, and that's this right here, this iconic bridge behind me. It's actually a double-level bridge, so you got the subway running down here. Interesting fact, Lausanne is the only city in Switzerland to have an underground. And you got this beautiful bridge, ornamental, just on the top, with cars running along the top. And the most iconic backdrop ever is the Lausanne Cathedral, Lausanne's #1 main landmark. And the reason I wanted to come here early, first thing, is because early in the morning the light is best. Ideally I would have loved to come here around sunrise, but I did take the first train from Zurich, so this is the very earliest I could get here. But yeah, beautiful photo location regardless. So I would recommend come here, wait for a train to pop out this tunnel, have your camera ready and then snap away, and then you've got the most iconic photo composition with the train at the bottom, cathedral at the top. I think it's just a very complex, interesting picture that really just reflects Lausanne, and yeah, do you want to see my take on it? Here it is. Let's talk technicalities. I'm using the Sony A7R III, which is my main camera, as well as the Sigma 24-70mm lens, which is just a great all-round lens, especially when traveling, because it's just more versatile than primes, and to keep weight down, even though it's a very heavy lens regardless. I used 35mm, which just helped me to frame the bottom of the bridge as well as the cathedral at the top, keep the composition nice and to the point. And then settings were 1/200th, which is just fast enough of a shutter speed to catch the moving train, f5.6 and ISO 100 to maintain maximum image quality. Next up on my must-see locations in Lausanne is Park Amitage. I assume I'm pronouncing that correctly, but if I bastardize that name, that's okay too. I'll put the name right here. And this park is just incredibly beautiful by itself and worth a visit. Look at this beautiful foundation. I think it's a museum, art museum or something. Not that that's what I'm into, but it's a beautiful building. And then there's also a beautiful photo spot right here, which is, if you look here, you can frame the cathedral back here with the trees on either side, and then it's a little bit blown out right now, but there's a mountain range back here as well, so again a stunning composition. I would recommend a telephoto lens. I used my 70mm zoom lens, but I will crop in the picture a bit more, so I'd opt for ideally a lens longer than 70mm had I brought one. And yeah, in weather conditions like this, where it's starting to approach midday, light blue skies, I always recommend a circular polarizer, which is what I used. It just saturates the blue in the sky a lot more, controls the highlights, and just gives you a lot more clarity in your picture. So highly recommend that. If you want to see what the telephoto lens shot, well, crop film in my case, plus the CPL looks like, check it out. Here it is. The second reason why I wanted to come to this park specifically is because it's just got a beautiful view of the top of the city, and I figured you'd probably also get some really good radio reception on the drone. So yeah, I'm going to launch the drone, which is always a great idea just to get an overview of the city and just get some epic footage from up above. Can't go wrong with that. Plus it's a tremendous amount of fun to fly the drone, and that's what's happening right now. Great success. I love the little excursion up here in the park, but it's time to head to the next location. Let's not delay, and the next place I want to head to is the Old Town. Before coming to Lausanne, I did some research on the photo spots that I wanted to visit, and this was one of them. It's Le Pointu, it's a cafe, and it's got the similar kind of architecture to Flatiron Building in New York. But standing in front of it in person, I don't feel that inspired to take this photo, and I think I'm just going to give it a skip. And the lesson learned here is, as much as you research the best photo spots, you can only really tell if you like them once you get there. So you win some and you lose some, and let's try and get some more winning shots in by heading to the next location. So I gathered, since I'm in Lausanne, may as well take the subway, the metro, and head to our next location, which is the university. I'll show you more what that's all about, but it's famous for some really amazing modern architecture. I want to check out the campus, should be pretty cool, and I can't wait to show you as well. Let's jump on this subway train once it arrives. So I believe Lausanne has two universities, but the one I wanted to check out is called EFPL, and that's the station I got off at. And I think it's a Polytechnical School, whatever that stands for. But what this one's known for is got some pretty cool, edgy architecture, and I can't wait to show you all about that. I'm probably not going to be taking too many photos, but just having a walk around, enjoying the beautiful weather as well. And the first one that caught my eye is this convention center over here with the edgy roof and the big glass windows. Looks beautiful. And I believe the other one that you shouldn't miss is a underpass under the metro. It's got some colourful rainbow styles, and maybe I can try a street photography shot. So I'm going to try to discover if I can find that, and then whip out the camera. Let's do this. Found the colourful underpass, and it is seriously cool. Check this out. So rainbow colours all around, and yeah, it makes for some amazing photography. I would recommend the following. Use a wide angle lens just to fit in as much as possible. You want to get the rainbow colours in here, as well as the full circle potentially. The more colours the better, I guess, and the wide angle helps you do that. And then the also beautiful thing about wide angles is they really stretch out the perspective, so you can get some amazing shapes. Yeah, you can make the most of the shapes, and including the circular skylight above and the star-shaped on the bottom. So get your wide angle out, get stuck in, and you can get some great photos. What I did, I'll recommend coming in the middle of the day, so the sun is high up in the sky and shining through the skylight, and it kind of creates a spotlight effect in the middle of the circle here. So what I waited is, I just waited off the camera, waited for somebody to just step on the middle spot, and then just started firing away. Another great thing I find that really makes a difference when doing street photography shots is the silent shutter on the Sony a7R III or most modern mirrorless cameras. Do you want to see some of these photos? They're pretty cool. Check them out. One of the most striking buildings on the EPFL campus is the Rolex Forum. I'm not sure what it is entirely. It could be a student library or something like that. But it's a building with these very wavy shapes along the facade. Very cool. And then in the middle it's also got these circular cutouts, which I find quite beautiful as well. And yeah, it's just when I did my research on best places to visit in Lausanne, this popped up on Google. The images look cool. I'll show you some of them to you now. But yeah, photography wise I'm not super inspired, but I'm glad I came to check out the campus anyway. Took a walk around. It's also pretty cool architecture along the way. And that's pretty much all I wanted to have checked out in Lausanne on this very short day trip. But I do fear this YouTube video is getting too long, so I'm going to use my all-day travel pass on the Swiss public transport system to head over to Fribourg. But in the interest of keeping this YouTube video short, I am going to call an end to this video right here from the Rolex Center at the EFPL University in Lausanne. But if you're interested in seeing where this day trip continues, be sure to hit that subscribe button below, and I'll be sure to be posting a video from my quick excursion to Fribourg and potentially even Bern as well. So do stay tuned, but thanks for joining me on this video so long, and I hope to see you in a future video where I explore Switzerland and various places all over the world taking photos, and can't wait to share them with you. Hope you had a great time. See you soon. Goodbye.